Oh god, here is some more stir-fry Squadron. This issue is number 54. It resolves the evil monster, evil society of evil monsters of evil plotline, and it does so rather pathetically. I do understand that the writer, Roger Thomas, he was dealt a shitty hand by Christmas on Infinite Earths, effectively killing his series off, and he was spinning his feet trying to resolve everything. But this is a mess. It's like it has become nothing more than a meandering, directionless series. Summarising it, it is in part pointless because you've got all this setup that doesn't go anywhere. Like here, we are introduced to a set of characters. The book has about 40 different starring characters. And here we are introduced to 7 of them. And none of them really appear again after this page. Minuteman, he is in it at least a fair bit, so this is worth pointing out. Minuteman, he's like at base coordinating a search for the evil monster, evil society of evil. And then Green Lanterns, he shows up with Batman and Robert. They will each contribute to the story in very minimal ways. And then we have got a recap of this ridiculous plot that involves like 15 separate storylines. The Justice Society of Superheroes, these ones here, they were fired off into space by the evil Nazis. Dr. Fate is presumed dead. Elastic Man and a bunch of others have disappeared into space. Allbran has disappeared separately since Harbinger collected her to take part in Christmas on Infinite Earths. And it's not even touching on the stuff with Captain Marbles, the real one, Biffy Baston, or Fastman gunning on a mission with a bunch of baddies in the future. But here we have what I would argue is probably meant to be the main plot with a monster society. Not worth saying who is who because they are all D-list characters, but this big grey fella, he's like the main one, he's the big threat, he is the leader, and they all argue amongst themselves about leadership. Meanwhile, here is the Flask, the one with the funny art. He is part of the plot now, so here is a splash page to introduce him. So the Flask, he shows up with the rest of the heroes at their base, and then they all get attacked by the Monster Society, and this is just bad. There is too much going on and no focus at all. When this came out, Roger Thomas, he was also writing Infinite Tears, and it seems like the majority of his effort was going towards that one. Infinite Tears was always the better book, but Stir-Fry Squadron, it did have some good bits. The Flask, he beats up this one guy, that is him defeated, and then Batman and Robert, they quickly defeat the woman one with a single batarang. Definitely worth the 5 or so issues we spent building up the Monster Society, isn't it? The only fight that they treat like a big deal and not a quick afterthought is Green Lanterns fighting against the big grey fella. And even this is a mess because they decide to quickly introduce and not explain the white wave of entropy from Christmas on Infinite Earths. And Green Lanterns, he defeats the monster with his magic ring by making him do a big explosion. So that is the Monster Society defeated. And then Dr. Fate shows up alive and well. You might think I'm doing an exceptionally poor job of recapping this. That seems to just jump around and not stick with anything. But that is how it actually reads. Then we just drop this plot entirely and instead jump over to the main Christmas on Infinite Earths event. This is a bit where Harbinger has assembled all the heroes. And we get to catch up on Allbran. We haven't seen her since issue 50, I think. She's been busy out in the main crossover. And now we start setting up yet another plot line with another 10 characters that you have never heard of. Allbran teams up and leads a bunch of Western heroes, and this book really needed this influx of more characters. Everyone agrees there wasn't enough characters in the book. Roger Thomas, he was only juggling about 45 balls. Give him another 10, why didn't ya? Like, this is honestly a mess. It is a jumbled mess. It's so badly told. I can't imagine anyone enjoying this. It's just so haphazard and schizophrenic. I really liked issue 51 since it was very direct and focused. It ran with like 1 or 2 stories and it told them well. Every issue around it has been terrible, and even the good stuff from that issue, it started to feel like a waste since all that Monster Society stuff came to nothing. This plot with Allbran, it'll be the main focus of the next issue, which means it'll be drowned out by 70 other plot lines. And what we have is Indians attacking NASA. Thrilling and potentially offensive. I recommend this to you if you want a headache. If you want a day off work and you need to develop a headache, read this. It's coming dangerously close to incomprehensible. If this was the first issue of the series that you picked up, you would not have any clue. If you want a book where you are harshly thrown to the wolves without any context, this is for you. You'll be lost by about page 4. I rate it 7 thumbs up.